places. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun. I see it's alright.
You guys are coming up one more. Everyone can be seated. Welcome and good evening, family and friends. We have come to beautiful Napa Valley this weekend to celebrate the marriage of two lovely people, Lauren, Ashley, Lanza, and Stephen, Leo Lafond. On behalf of Lauren and Steve, I'm extending their thanks and gratitude for making the journey to celebrate such a special occasion. It means the world to them that the most important people in their lives can share in their joy. By your presence, you celebrate with them the love they have discovered in each other. You support their decision to commit themselves to a lifelong relationship. Marriage is more than joining the bond of two persons. It is the union of two hearts. It lives on the love you give each other, never grows old, and thrives on the joy of each new day. Today, Lauren and Steve demonstrate their devotion to each other by dedicating themselves to a life together. And they show their respect for each other by setting forth to honor the vows they have created. Today, their lives, which began on separate paths, will be joined as one. Before we begin, I asked Steve multiple questions about each other so we can all get a little insight on what they think of each other. There were many answers, however, I felt that two of them really exemplified Lauren and Steve, and I'd really like to share it with you. I asked Lauren, what actions of Steve say I love you? And her response, and I'm going to read it in a quote, it's mostly the little things. He listens to me when I'm talking. He randomly hugs me or kisses me just because. He will send texts just to say he loves me when he knows I'm stressed. I asked Steve, when did you know that you were in love with Lauren? He said, I don't know the exact date, but I knew I loved the way she looked at me and that I loved spending time with her. We know that these sentiments represent the friendship, love, and respect that Lauren and Steve have for each other. To family and friends, you form a community of support that surrounds Lauren and Steve. Each of you, by your presence here today, is being called upon to uphold them in loving each other. Always stand beside them, never between them. Offer them your love and support, not your judgment. Encourage them when encouragement is needed, and listen to them when they ask for advice. In these ways, you can honor this marriage into which they will be joined today. And now, Lauren's friend Maggie will share a reading chosen by Lauren and Steve.
The art.
The art of marriage. The little things are the big things. It is never being too old to hold hands. It is remembering to say I love you at least once a day. It is never going to sleep angry. It is at no time taking the other for granted. The courtship should not end with the honeymoon. It should continue throughout the years. It is having a mutual sense of values and common objectives. It is standing together, facing the world. It is forming a circle of love that gathers in the whole family. It is doing things for each other. It is doing things for each other not in the attitude of duty or sacrifice, but in the spirit of joy. It is speaking words of appreciation and demonstrating gratitude in thoughtful ways. It is not expecting the husband to wear a halo or the wife to have wings of an angel. It is not looking for perfection in each other. It is cultivating flexibility, patience, understanding, and a sense of humor. It is having the capacity to forgive and forget. It is giving each other an atmosphere in which each can grow. It is finding room for the things of the Spirit. It is a common search for the good and the beautiful. It is establishing a relationship in which the independence is equal. Dependence is mutual, and the obligation is reciprocal. It is not only marrying the right partner, it is being the right partner.
Steve's friend Chandler now share a second reading chosen by Lauren and Steve.
But ultimately, there comes a moment when a decision must be made. Ultimately, two people who love each other must ask themselves how much they hope for as their love grows and deepens, and how much risk they are willing to take. It is indeed a fearful gamble, because it is the nature of love to create. A marriage itself is something which has to be created, so that together we can become a new creature. To marry is the biggest risk in human relations that a person can take. If we commit ourselves to one person for life, this is not, as many people think, a rejection of freedom. Rather, it demands the courage to move into all risks of freedom, and the risk of love, which is permanent, into that love which is not possession, but participation. It takes a lifetime to learn another person. When love is not possession, but participation, then it is a part of that co-creation, which is our human calling, which implies such risk that is often rejected.
Lauren and Steve, before this moment, you've been many things to one another. Acquaintance, friend, companion, accomplice. We have learned much from one another in the last few years. Now you shall say a few words that take you across the most sacred threshold of your lives. Things will never quite be the same between the two of you. For after these words, you shall say to the world, "This is my husband, and this is my wife." Who wants to go first? Steve.
Lauren, first off, I could not be happier standing here marrying you in front of our family and friends. I had written different vows, and then this week something came up that I didn't expect. I was asked probably by over 100 people whether I was nervous. And my answer was always no, and I has never been nervous. And that lack of nervousness comes from a confidence in the fact that I'm marrying the right person. And I looked at that really in three different places. You're absolutely beautiful. I love waking up next to you every day. I love looking at you all the time. The second thing was you're just the best partner. You're the best teammate, partner. You're going to be a great mother someday. And then finally, you make me laugh all the time. That's the most important thing. I love it. Your sense of humor is amazing. And I'm so excited to be married.
Tough to live up by.
Like you, I wasn't nervous until Steve, it may sound so simple, but it's so profoundly important. I, above all else, promise to love you. I will be forever faithful to you and supportive throughout all the changes of our lives. It's been a lot so far. I will be there to laugh with you and celebrate the joys of life with you. Together, we will dream and live as one, while always respecting one another in our differences. We will stumble, but we'll restore each other. I will walk beside you, offering courage and strength throughout all endeavors, and love you through times of both adversity and prosperity. I vow to always remember how I feel today with us being surrounded by so much love, knowing how lucky I am to have found the love of my life and the best friend in one person.
blew you away.
Yeah. That was beautiful. Okay. So, pull out the rings. You ready? Almost thought I lost them. So, let us be reminded of the symbolism of exchange of rings. The circle of a ring represents undying love and continually renewed vows of the married couple. May it be a constant reminder of the vows we have made to each other here today, and may the love they symbolize be your most treasured possession. Stephen. Over that, please. Thank you. I'm going to hold this. Steve, place this ring on Lauren's finger and repeat after me. With this ring, I give you my promise that from this day forward, you shall not walk alone. May my heart be your shelter, and my arms be your home. You're next. Lauren, place this ring on Steve's finger. With this ring, I give you my promise that from this day forward, you shall not walk alone. May my heart be your shelter, and my arms be your home. Lauren and Steve, we have heard your promise to share your lives of marriage. We recognize and respect the vows that you have made here today before each of us as a witness. In the honesty and sincerity of what you have said and done here today, and by the authority vested in me by the state of California, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Family and friends, for the very first time, I'm honored and privileged to present Mr. and Mrs. Stephen Lafond.